I'm not ready yet. I'm not. I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Oh, bugger! I guess we're doing this, aren't we? Oh no. Oh no. It's happening again. It's another Wednesday, and you are with me on a lovely, lovely Wednesday evening at 8:30, over on twitch.tv. And if you're watching on the VOD, then you're watching on YouTube or something like that. Or you could be watching on Twitch. Who knows? My name is Mr. Matt Internet, and we are yet again stuck with things to play. So we're going back to Magic. We're just going back to Magic. I've had a really bit of a weird time as of late. Editing a lot of low res, an awful lot of low res. I've got so much more to edit as well. So I do feel a bit bad streaming, but I also know that I need to actually take a break and play stuff, because it's been a little while since I've actually just sat down and played something. So this is going to be nice. It's going to be nice to flop some cards around. I'm looking forward to, at some point in the near future, actually flopping physical cards around again. I've got another Funko-verse coming as well, just on the off chance that I have 3 other people around, and then we can play a 4-player game instead of a 2-player one. So I'm building up a little Funko-verse collection so that I can actually play it one day. One day. I won't ever get to play it, but maybe one day. So, hopefully you're all doing well if you're watching live. If you're watching on the VOD, I hope you're doing well as well, and I hope you're enjoying whatever day it is. It could be a Wednesday. You could be watching this on another Wednesday. I'm rambling. I'm definitely rambling. I have no idea what's going on. Let's get to the game, shall we? So, the new set's come out. Thunder Junction, that's the name of it. Outlaws of Thunder Junction. And Oko here, he's going, oh, I'm not wearing a shirt still, but I'll wear a cowboy hat. So, as you can probably guess, this is all, all cowboys, like, sort of set. Like, it's doing alright. Like, some of the cards are quite cool. It's nice to see, like, certain cards get this treatment. Let's see what we got here. 3 steps ahead. Spree. So basically, for Spree, you pay the initial cost of 1 blue, and then you have to pay 1 and 1 blue to counter a target spell. So it's basically 2 blue, 1. Or you got to pay 3 to create a token. There's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. That's pretty nice. But again, that's 3 and a blue to do that. Or you can end up adding, for 2 mana, generic mana, you can draw 2 cards and then discard a card. So it's a nice little filter spell there. You can play multiple effects depending on where you are in the game. So the spree mechanic I quite like. I just think that one of them should just be a base cost. Like, I get what they're going with, but I kind of get like, okay, so I've always got to make sure I'm putting on 1 blue mana onto all of these costs, so it becomes a little bit more complicated to work out the cost of what you've got in your hand. The bonus sheet. There are 3 bonus sheets in this set. It will get silly. I've apparently got to pick up some deserts for my commander deck, because there's a desert spider who's a cactus. Another clear shot. Cool, the Unrepentant for 2 black, 2 red. Flying Trample with 5/5. Sacrifice 3 other creatures. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That's pretty handy. And it's a Scorpion Dragon Rogue. Brilliant. I quite like the flavour of the card. I just wish the art was a little better. Like, it kind of feels a bit messy. Like, what's that claw doing? What's that claw? What's that doing? Firing a laser? Who knows? Next pack. Let's have a little goosey at you. See what we got. Brewer's Tile, Roving Rancher. And it creates Ox tokens. Oxen you control have double strike whenever Bruised Tile, Roving Rancher enters the battlefield or attacks. Exile the top card of your library. If it's a land card, create a 2/2 white ox creature token. Otherwise, you may cast it until the end of your next turn. That's not bad at all, that. I see, because the ox are eating the desert plants, so it ends up making more. That's nice. I like that. And the Contagion Engine enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature target player controls, and then proliferate twice. So proliferate means that you end up putting an additional counter on everything that you want it to. So it could be that you've got loyalty counters on planeswalkers that you want to end up increasing. You've got +1/+1 counters on your creatures that you want to end up increasing by 1. Flying token counters, like any sort of counter that's in the game, you can add an additional 1 for each proliferate. So now you get to put 2 counters on everything. That's quite nice. I like that. If you're wondering what this silver card is, it just told you. It's a common wild card. I had loads of those. I had loads and loads, but I ended up spending a load on building a deck recently. And the best thing is, it wasn't even legal for any formats. It was just a mess around deck. Aven Interrupter. Flash and flying. When Aven Interrupter enters the battlefield, exile target spell. It becomes plotted. Spells your opponents cast from graveyards or exile cost 2 more to cast. That's quite nice. Oh, that's quite nice. So you've got to play something, then play Aven, and then you can end up plotting it. If it's your own card. But you could use that on a counter spell, and that effectively means that they've got to now cast a counter spell at sorcery speed, which means they can't actually do that. So that could really ruin someone's counter spell if you flash that in at the right time. Could be quite funny. Throw from the saddle. Sorry, I saw the art for this and I was like, I need to have a little look at this. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it instead. If it's a mount, then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. That's nice. That's very nice. So you can either pump a creature up for a turn, or if you've got a mount, which are basically... they're creatures that exist on the field. They can attack themselves, or if you end up tapping a certain amount of creatures, then you can end up making it so it ends up having an additional effect. It's very similar to another mechanic called Crew. Let's Lullaby. Destroy target tapped creature, you gain 2 life. That's quite nice. I might have to pick one of those up for my daughter's deck, actually. My commander deck. Buried Garden. Or Buried in the Garden, sorry. Alright. What shall we muck around with tonight? A sneaking suspicion. My standard deck. How is it still legal? I've had this deck for ages. How is it still legal? I haven't had to really update my standard deck for ages. I really must at some point, because this deck's feeling very old. Very old now. I need to start chucking some new things in it. Right, so turn 1 Blossoming Sands, and then we go into Kami. Right, ideally we want Kami to hit, and then we want to put out Jukai Naturalist, because that makes everything cheaper. And unless we end up pulling another mana, we're going to be a bit stuffed. There we go, there's 1 more mana. I'll just chuck that straight out. Right, so they've got a creature on the field already. The Blood-Tide Harvester, and then when it enters the battlefield, create a blood token, and you can sacrifice it, and target creature gets -X/-X, where X is twice the number of blood tokens they control. Activate only as a sorcery. So effectively, they could kill Kami quite quickly here. I'm hoping they don't, but if they do, Kami can always come back. Because as soon as an enchantment hits the graveyard, Kami can come back from the graveyard. Great, it begins.
Something suspicious is going on.
Liliana is an Absolute pain in the ass. Sacrifices a creature. There we go. Right, so we're going to whip out our planes. That's only artifacts or creatures. Ideally, I'd want haste or something. Because next turn, they're going to make me discard. Because they're going to play the +1 ability of Liliana, which is going to end up having each player discards a card. So I need something to discard. And right now, I think Nurturing Presence is probably going to be the best thing. No blocks, it's fine. You can just do 3 damage, it's fine. There we go. Tap the rock for luck. Here comes the +1. There we go. Each player discards a card.
Drop it.
They're obviously going to want something that they're going to want. I'm going to just chuck Nurturing Presence in the bin. Sholdred, what the fuck? Right, we draw a card and we lose a life. 2 life. Hate Sholdred. Absolutely despise Sholdred with an absolute passion. Right, we're touching the Spirit Realmer. It's going straight away. I cannot stand her to be on the field. That comes in.
Do not touch me again.
Takes that down to 1. But it still means that we're going to have to discard a card. So I'm going to have to figure out what I would like to discard. It's probably going to be the Radiant Grove because I'm fine. Great. Oh, I hate dealing with decks like this. I just need to survive long enough for them to sort of fall apart. With some decks, you're looking at things falling apart with them. There we go.
I'm tired of your secrets.
So they're also going to end up having the ability to gain life as well each turn from the Deep Cavern Bat. It's got what's called Lifelink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the Radiant Grove because stuff that. Have they actually got anything that can come out of the graveyard? Not really. Not really what I was hoping for. Oh, because Blood Tide. They probably can do something, but they're not going to do that. Right. Bring out Calyx. Are they going to pop Blood Tide or are they not? We're about to find out. Doesn't matter, Spiritus still gets 2. And at the end of this turn, I'll be getting Kami back. So they've had to use a timeout. Keep the pressure up. Cool. So they're going to lose Blood Tide without ever actually making it pop, which is surprising. I was expecting them to block and then pop. That's irksome. That's so irritating.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
But because they did that, I get my creature right back into my hand. Thank you, Muchley. Wanted to make sure my hand was clear, but they're going to end up making me sacrifice something. I know that they are, because they're going to end up -2ing Lily. There we go.
One of your friends has to leave.
Right. Get rid of Liliana.
Oh, that's my cue to leave.
Right, see, now we've survived it. We've gotten through the storm, survived what they've been able to throw at us. So now we're in a position where we can potentially start making some damage. There we go. They've had to pop that to get a card. It's a land. That's not what they wanted. That's what we wanted. So they're going to have some targeted removal in here. So we're going to have to expect... Ooh! Not even trying to bluff. And there we go. That was surprising. Usually if you're in a situation where... If you're in a situation where you've ended up drawing a card, and you've got no cards in hand, play poker. Start bluffing. Like, if you think that you are in a position where you can't end up playing cards because you've got nothing in your hand and you draw a land, don't immediately go and play it. Save it, because unless you get another land next turn, you're just going to be drawing nothing. You like... I'm explaining this badly. If you've only got one land, if you end up drawing a land and you've got nothing else in your hand, bluff with it. Because what's the point of playing that land on this turn when you could play it next turn if you draw another land card? Keep a card in your hand so that you can bluff with it. Because if you're making your opponent think, oh, they've got some sort of removal, like I thought they did, then that will influence how they play. So, very odd. Not complaining, it's a win. I will give Standard another shot. As old as this deck is, I am very familiar with it, and I know what it can do. I know that there's a lot of things and silly stuff you can do with the card. That's a pretty decent opening hand. This would have been better if it was just a white, but I'm not complaining. I can bring out Cammy. I can bring out, well, that is now going to be the question. Because if I play Blossoming Sands first turn, I can play nothing else. If I play Forest first turn, I can play Generous Visitor, and then I'd have to play Blossoming Sands, but I could play Fang on the next turn after that, which would end up causing Generous Visitor to trigger. Right. I think... Yeah, let's do it this way. We'll play Blossoming Sands, we'll get a life, that will end up covering for the life that we're going to lose from this Goblin. Big body on a 1-drop. And there's 2 of them. There we go. Right, we whip out another Forest. I'm going to bring out a Generous Visitor. And a Fang. Barrel and Kalzev. First strike and Menace. Menace means that it has to be blocked by 2 creatures. Or we could get rid of it with Van Helsing's Holy Ward. It's got first strike as well. Don't really fancy that all that much. Get that out of there. No attacks for the minute. That is some lovely card art. Oh, those are nice. Rock, rock. Rock, rock. Staunch crewmate. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or pirate card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Looking for an artifact to boost these goblins up, because they'll get a +1 if there's an artifact on the field. Picked up another one, so they get to do it again. That's what they wanted. They wanted an artifact and a vehicle as well. Cannot blame them whatsoever. Now, do I go spirited? Let's go spirited. Well, flop my sausage. It's Mr. Matt. Welcome on in, Garlips. Hopefully you're doing most excellently this fine evening. Let's make the fang a little bit bigger. And we got another Blossoming Sands, which is nice, but it's not really what we wanted. Now, I know next turn we're going to see some vehicle come onto the field, which means those goblins are going to become much bigger. Hopefully you're doing most excellently, and congratulations on completing that pushing of the boulder up the hill in the role of Sisyphus, or Syphilis. It's Syphilis his name was, wasn't it? It was Syphilis. See, because this ship has come out, everything ends up getting stronger for those goblins. And has haste. Oh, that makes it even funnier. Which doesn't really matter. Each player choose up to 1 target artifact or creature that players controls. For as long as Kite Sail lasts and remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts with tap. So they've made my generous visitor into a little creature, which means I can sack it, which I don't really want to. So I've got to be careful with spending mana. Or not really care about spending mana. Here we go. They've crewed it now. Right, so I think we'll whip out another generous. I have Raspberry Ripple Iron Brew. Oh my goodness. Oh, your outfit shit. I hope you aren't actually going as a shit, because that will be a very messy recording. I don't think I could deal with a messy recording like that. Oh, they actually let it on the field. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's whip out a Kami as well, which isn't an enchantment, so Generous isn't going to trigger, which is a shame. I'm already a shit, so I can't do shit on shit. No, so no, don't worry. Beautiful. Let's save this mana for later, because if I can get rid of the Kite Sail, then it ends up becoming very funny. No attacks for the time being, and we'll end the turn. I was half tempted at some point to just chuck on an episode of Low Res and commentate over the top of it, and just end up explaining some of the things that happened. Oh, we got hit with 1. So they're going to crew that vehicle this turn? This theme's special. This is very hot right now, and when I have thought of it, it's a good chuckle. We might very well get that. Alright, so this I'm getting swung out with a lot of things right now. And they're making choices. Not a typo. Not a typo. I had a feeling that was the case. Alright, so we're going to get hit with 2, 4, 6. Right, we're going to block the ship because we might as well do that. A little doggo. There we go. Anthem, boost, something? Nothing! That's a surprise. And I suppose it's because they've already got other artifacts in the field, so they don't really care all that much. Right. What about a generous visitor? Should we go Calyx? Shall we go whip out the Calyx? Because he's really funny. Because he can generate additional... Yeah, let's do that. So, lots of things are going to get a load of counters. Let's put a counter on them. Every time I see someone playing Magic, I think, wow, I'm sure I would like this, but I have limited free time and I don't want to fall down a rabbit hole for -2 mana. Your best bet, actually, is to look at, say, like, look through some cards and end up going, oh, this one's interesting, and look at building a commander deck, because at most, like, social events and things like that, oh, god damn it, Kami becomes a treasure. That's a fucker. But they didn't do Calyx, which is the main thing. 2, 4, 6. I can survive that. Build a commander deck, because at random events you'll end up having people playing commander a lot of times, and if you've got a commander deck, you can just end up being like, right, well, I'll play a game with commander. It's the format that is probably the most played nowadays of Magic, because everyone usually ends up going, oh, I've got a commander deck, or oh, I've got a spare commander deck, here, borrow that. Oh, you're destroying one of my non-basic lands. That's a bit cheeky. Now, if I get something... Yeah, we'll put one of those out. If I get... Oh, I didn't get a trap. I was hoping for a trap of some description there, so I could have ended up sealing away one of their cards so that they can't block. What would be nice about now is trample. I'll do that.
Hey, let me get a minute. Hey, let me get one too. Hey, let me hold one.
Yeah, you get that right there. What the dog doing?
Commander games are incredibly... Well, they can end up being incredibly long or incredibly short. It really does depend on the play group. I've had Commander games that go on for hours and hours and hours and hours. I've had others that have ended up not going on for all that long at all. Oh, the war cost is 1. You let it happen! Oh my god! Okay, what enchantment do we want? Yeah, we'll have a copy of that. Yeah, we'll make another generous visitor bigger. So commander games can end up being very, very short or very, very long. I've had commander games that lasted only a few minutes, and I've had others that end up lasting for almost an entire day. Like, people will take breaks, end up going, right, we'll put a turn marker here, and then we'll go and have lunch or something. Okay, we need to block this. Okay, so we've got a 5/4 coming at us, so we'll block you with you. No, we're dead. I reckon we're dead. We're going to get hit by 2 in the air. Yeah, that's 6. That's done. Good game. There we go. If I had 1 mana remaining, I could have ended up blocking away, or basically stopping one of their creatures in the air. Because then I could have ended up making a copy of that Van Helsing's Holy Seal and sealing away one of their creatures. That's life. Right. Do we go with the precons or do we go on the edge? What's on the edge? Oh, bring a 60 card deck using only cards from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Murders of Karlov, and Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Not really tempted by that because I haven't actually played much of those at the moment, so it's a bit bad. What was it? This one? Yeah, this was the one that I was I'd made by accident. Well, I say by accident. I made it, and then I was like, right, well, I can't afford to get all of these cards, so let's end up swapping a few out. Oh, it's no longer legal in the format that it was supposed to be in. So it's just a piss around deck. Oh, God, right. So what emotes and things have they made for this Cowboys set? Howdy, yee-haw, 3, 2, 1 draw. What incarnation and pondering? Very fun. The Oko Avatar bundle, Varaska bundle. It's annoying the Fallout cards aren't in this, because there's a few Fallout cards that are pretty good. Pretty good indeed. There's actually there's 4 commander decks that are in, like, that are built around the Fallout stuff that they made recently. And apparently they're not bad. I need to rewatch the professor's video on it. There's actually a magic professor called the Professor, and he ends up doing lots of things on magic. He's a great resource, like the Tellurian Community College. Like, go and watch that. It's incredible stuff. Should we dunk our balls into this? Because we got... I heard Freddie Mercury took an interest in some lads playing cards once. In fact, he was overheard approaching them and saying, it's a kind of magic. And he would end up saying, yes. They would say, yes. You know what we're going to do? We're going to play a game of magic, Freddie. And he'd go, yes, get in. I've had a commander deck that's just been raring to go. Malkator, Purity Overseer. Create 3/3 colours for Phyrexian Golem. Oh no, there's an ad break. I am sorry. I love like. I pressed the wrong button there. You see, I pressed the wrong button. So, I loved Queen's later stuff. Like, I used to, like, my ma is a massive, massive fan of Queen. Like, absolutely colossal fan of Queen. So we used to end up having all the VHSs around of all the music videos. And it was their later stuff that I really enjoyed. I'm Going Slightly Mad is a fantastic track. And it's the, like, dancing around, the bananas on the head. Remember that video blew me away when I was a kid. It's finally happened. I'm slightly mad. Just a little bit. A small quantity of mad. Just a small amount. Just a small amount, okay? I prefer Later Queen as well, yeah. Well, it's because Later Queen was when they ended up going, right, well, we've made the money, we can actually make stuff that is a little more complex now. Dedicated Doll Maker. When Dedicated Doll Maker enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target non-land, non-token permanent. Its controller creates a token that's a copy of it, except it's not legendary and it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So you're making a copy of a legendary creature. Non-land, non-token. So that could be anything that's non-land, non-token. That's very, very funky. That's a very, very odd one. Tokens you control gain indestructible end of turn. So that could become very funny with Malakator. Because then you get a secondary trigger of that going off, and then you create another token. It's very silly. Artifact or fiction, dynamite. Stalwart spear tail. Whenever it's dealt damage, other dinosaurs you control and dinosaur cards in your hand and library perpetually get +1/+1. Whenever Stalwart spear tail attacks, you may pay 3. If you do, then it deals 1 damage to every creature and planeswalker, including your own, remember. Which includes itself. Which means it gets stronger. Which means everything else gets stronger. Little tiny dinosaur. Triumphant Chomp. Deals 2 damage to target creature to 2 or the greatest power among dinosaurs you control, whichever is greater. Oh, equal to 2. So yeah, it deals damage equal to 2, which is very weird wording. And that can become a dinosaur. Wow, and it can untap a creature as well if it attacks with it. Nice. I don't know, what should we go with? Saddle ups? Open the Omen Path? What is in open? Like, I don't like playing 5-colour decks because you can find yourself getting very, very, very stuffed by all of the mana. Joda. So basically I'm imagining everything in here is a legendary creature? Yeah. Oh, except for the Llanowar Green Widow. Which oddly enough is one of the creatures I have not got for my commander deck. You can return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped with a finality counter on it. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each basic land type among lands you control. So basically it can come back once from the graveyard. And it can become cheaper if you've got a lot of basic lands in there. There's only 5 basic lands that you can put. Well, actually, does Domain end up noticing wastes as well? I suppose waste is a basic land type. Waste is a colourless one. Dunno, should I go with this? Yeah, let's go for it. 2,500 coins. I've made enough coins on here. Deck to pick. I think we will go with token resistance, I think. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. See how badly it goes. It's going to go terribly. But hopefully everyone is enjoying their evening. They're getting through another fun week. I've got to go into the office tomorrow, which is going to be great fun. And I've got to train XL to people. Oh, I do like that planes. Mandible Justicar. And we've got the dedicated doll maker right off the bat. Okay, we'll see how it goes. We've got something to play early on. 2 things to play early on. We'll play this lonely Ario. It's gonna deal 1 damage to a target opponent. That's it, you whimper, boy. You whimper. I'm gonna shake my rock. Do you know what the rock's name is, by the way? Do you know what its name is? They've given the rock a name. You know what it is? It's Dwayne. Right, so we've got a 2-1 with lifelink out. However, if another artifact enters the control, it's going to get a +1/+1 until end of turn, which makes it stronger. Now this bad boy here is going to look for the top 5 cards of the library, and we can reveal a mount or a plains card. Lush Portico, it gets to surveil 1. They didn't put it in the graveyard. Stubborn Barrow Fiend is a badger beast. I'm not going to block that. You can give me the 2 damage. It's fine. Whenever Stubborn Burrow Fiend becomes saddled for the first time each turn, mill 2 cards. Then Stubborn Burrow Fiend gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. They didn't put enough creatures in their graveyard, did they? They had the chance with that Surveil trigger, but they wanted that card. Yeah, let's bring this out. Oh, they let me restore my health. That was nice of them. Oh, that's very nice. Interesting. Oh. Looking at what I've got, they're contemplating what they could do. Oh, just block it with that. Boost? Are they going to give it a boost? Are they going to give it a cheeky boost? They give it a cheeky boost! But they get no damage through. This is all fine because I am going to play Justicar. Gets +1/+1. Then I'm going to play the Doll Maker. Ah, but it won't see that it's... Oh, no, it has done. Beautiful. That went off without a hitch. That went exactly as I wanted it to. Oh, what is that? Bristleblood Farmer. Create 2 food tokens. Whenever Bristleblood Farmer attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do mill 3 cards, you may put a permanent card from among them into your hand. Not bad. They're saddling up that Thumblewag. They're saddling up the Burrow Fiend as well. They're getting their things going. Oh, they've made the Burrow Fiend stronger. Well, you've forced me into a corner here. I've got to do this. I've got to chump block. Oh, no way. A steer clear. Right, so I could split the Power Stones. Okay. Ah, it's an instant speed as well, so hold on to that, I think. No, I won't do that for the minute. Oh, attack with that. Attack with that. Yeah, we'll do that for the minute. Because I know they're going to attack with the Badger. The Burrow Fiend. Hideaway of 5. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Then if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. That's a bit cheeky. So they're going to hide a card. So you get to look at the top 5 cards of your library and exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. So basically, every turn you're building up and closer to whatever this card is. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creature with power 3 or greater this turn. Okay. And now the mouse is loose. And they're saddling it up with the mouse. They're going to saddle up the Burrow Fiend, so they're saddling up the Badger. Saddled the Badger. It's an 8/8 now. That's decent. Yeah, we'll pass to combat. Oh, cheeky. Right, so we're getting attacked with 2 creatures there. There we go. They forgot about the doll, didn't they? Hmm. 3, 2, 1, draw. Oh! Well, we got the win there. Alright, let's see what we get for our card style, because if we win matches in this, we get little card styles, and that's nice. Alright, let's see what we get. So, you don't get the card, you get a style of it. You get a style of it. So it's a copy, it makes the card look nicer. That's it. That's the big thing. Oh, but we got a pack. Got another Outlaws of Thunder Junction pack. Have a little cheeky look at this. See what we've got here. Another 3 steps ahead. Indomitable Creativity. Destroy X target artifacts and or creatures. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals a card from the top of their library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and exiles that card. Those players put the exiled cards into the battlefield, then shuffle. So basically, you could really dick yourself over by making your opponent have some really great cards if you're destroying their artifacts. Ideally, you want to get rid of all of your junk artifacts and aim for the artifacts that you've got in your deck. Mourner's Surprise. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and then create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Nice. So it's nice you get a little body. It's not so nice that you can only get boost a creature outside of combat in your main phases. We could give token resistance another. Yeah, let's give one more. Let's give token resistance one more shot. Oh, that card. That's the one we got the fancy art for. Ginger Brute, I love that card. So much flavour. This is good knowledge, son, good knowledge. Right, the reason why I love this card is because it's got haste, so it can attack the turn it comes in. But for 1 mana, Ginger Brute can't be blocked to this turn except by creatures with haste. So haste, which is usually useless after the first turn it's been on, you can make it funny. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me on the ginger brute, man. And for 2 and a tap, you can sacrifice it and you gain 3 life. So you can basically eat it if you want to. I love cards that have got this much flavour in there. Like a delicious amount of flavour. I could make it die. Yeah, you know what we'll do? We're going to run as fast as you can. And they can't block it because neither of those two have haste. Ooh. Little dinosaur. So if you pay 2, you can target dinosaur you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. But there isn't another dinosaur. And they're forest cycling, which means they're getting rid of that card. And they're drawing a forest. No, you're right, honestly. You can hit me with that. It's fine. Not concerned. Ooh. I'll swing out. Keep the pressure on. We're wanting to keep the pressure on so that it forces them to be a little bit more on the back foot. Because we've got a blocker now. Oh, a sprouting goblin. And because they paid an additional green as it came out, search your library for a land card with a basic land type, reveal it and put it into your hand, which they did with that cheeky little mountain. Right. So, Mandible Justicar comes out. I'm going to create a gnome. Actually, no. Yeah, we might as well do that, just for a laugh. We'll do it just for a laugh. They didn't take it. Right, okay. Do you see what we did there? We bluffed them a little bit. We made them think that we were going to do something very nasty. And then we didn't. We did nothing. Oh, here we go. Here's a big boy. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand. So much land in the hand. What they want to do is they want to get this flipped over so they can do something very scary with it. Now, they're trying to bait me, aren't they? Well, block with just that. So they've taken some damage, and they've done 3 damage directly to my face. Right, so we control more than 2, so unfortunately Sea Chrome Coast is going to come in tapped. That's life. If you're wondering why this creature is here, it's because it's got Unearth, and what that means is that I can end up paying 1 blue mana, bring it out of my graveyard, it can come onto the field for 1 turn, and do something. Like, it can just attack if it wants to. Or I can bring it out and then I can sack it again to draw another card, which is a bit cheeky, but it's kind of cool. Oh, there's only one valid target, the gnome anyway. So we get a gnome anyway. Got lots of little gnomes at the moment. Ideally, we want something a bit more than that. I should have really swung with the ginger brute. When it enters the battlefield, it creates a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token. So you get a 5/5 and a 3/3, which makes its mana value actually worth it. What will they do this turn? Will they swing out or will they end up remaining? They remain. Okay. We'll unearth that. I want to do that to something that's a little bit bigger. Actually, we can do that to Oltec. Do you want to do that to Oltec? It'll give us another... I'm not going to swing with it, so I might as well sack it and see what we get. Island. We'll bring out an Oltec then. And we get another trigger off of that, so we get another one. Oh, it has to be an artifact token. I see. That's interesting. No attacks for the time being. We're in a stalemate at the moment. This is a stalemate. This is when things start to go like, ugh. There we go. We knew that was coming. So they create 3 dinosaurs. And what you don't want is that last one. Because once you get to that last one, dinosaurs you control gain double strike and trample until end of turn. Which is basically GG's. Now we can block that with this. Little gnome. Right, so we are very much on a timer now. Create 2 tap power stones, create a tap 0/0 colourless constructed artifact creature with token. We'll whip that out. We'll play Urza's command. Create one of those. Oh shit, that's got haste. Forgot about that. That could have gone badly. There we go.
The Sausage Wizard card in Magic. The Gathering is a flavorful creation with the spell Low Resigay, which transforms foes into pixels. Beware its pixelated power. Ooh, flop my sausage.
Flop my sausage indeed. Flop my sausage indeed. What a very interesting card. I wonder what the mana cost on that would be. I wonder. Probably something like a cheeky 2 colourless, 1 red. It's almost as if it's designed like that, isn't it? It's almost as if it's designed. Almost. One day, Garlips, you will end up messing around with your AI bot and make it do silly things. There are strong cards in this deck. I swear there are strong cards in this deck. We have... What is going on? We are not getting strong cards at the moment. We are getting shite cards. non-land, non-token, so I can't make a copy of that. We've got to swing something because we are rapidly running out of our abilities here. Oh, I should have declared the combat career as well. There we go, 9, so I'm going to lose that, but it does mean that they're going to lose 2 of their dinosaurs. There we go. Not what we wanted. Search your library card for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put it into your hand. This is bad. This is very bad. Oh dear. Boltborn Tyrant, great. When it dies, it ends up making a copy of itself. Brilliant. If I really wanted to make this bad, I could dedicate a doll maker, the dinosaur, that would kill it, create a new copy of it, and then another copy of it. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Wouldn't it just? Yeah, I think we're not going to win this one. I think they've weathered the storm and they've been able to make a big, big load of boys, and there's another big boy. Gaining life. This is definitely over. We have lost it. Triumphant Chomps didn't attack. Surgical Metamorph? What's this? That was the starting player, so it still costs the full amount. Well, I think let's even this out a little bit, shall we? Oh, if only I kept the... That's on me. Should we make this even sillier? Let's make it even sillier. What is going on? Jesus. Okay, right. Watch this. That dies. Okay, this turn wasn't what I was expecting. But we're getting close to the death. We're definitely getting close to death now, because they're gonna have trample double strike, and it's gonna be brutal. Trumpeting Carnosaur. Discover 5. Well, I was laughing for a while, but this is over now. Look, they've all got double strike. They've all got trample, which means that even if I block them, if I don't block the full amount, they are just going to decimate it. And they're not going to lose any of their creatures either. Alright, here it comes. Right. Actually, no. Reduces it down some. Right, here we go. We're not surviving this, by the way. We are definitely dead. Yeah, definitely dead. But it's okay. Because we had a good time, didn't we? We had a good time, guys. Got past the first strike damage. Here we go. Bam, 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 bam. Here comes the second strike. There we go. See? What a weird game. I had a very funny turn at the end there, but it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough to turn the tide. It's alright, though. These things happen. What I realised midway through is when I ended up doing that Urza trigger, I should have ended up making a copy of the token that was on the field with the doll maker, and I had the mana to do it. I should have done that, because then I would have had 2 copies of it, and then they would have boosted each other by existing. Right, so let's go back to main cam. There we go, studio mode. That's what we wanted. Right. Want that. Ah! I'm blinded. Right. Ooh, a new June the King video. Right, so if I do this and I do this, there we go. There we go. Let's just make Garlips go like, oh my, is it happening? Is it happening? Yes, it is, my friend. Right, so what I do is I go to this option here. That's window game capture. I don't want that. Actually, to be fair, there we go. That's the one we want. No, it's fine. You haven't missed anything. You haven't missed anything at all. Right, so if we do that, and it's gonna. There we go. That made it too small. There we go. Because I still want to be able to see what's going on with the chat and everything. Right, cool. So yes, we've recorded and we recorded this a while ago, and we released it on Monday. So we're gonna end up just watching this together, and we'll go over a few bits and pieces. Let me just change the category. Chat. Just chatting. There we go. And we'll update the stream title as well to end up being Low Res Series 2. Episode 2. Chat. There we go. We'll do that. We'll do that. There we go. Perfect. We should be all good to go now. Should be. There we go. And I can remove low res from there. See, my search terms are just filled with Chris Chan stuff. Right, cool. So we should be all good to go. So I'm going to flip on over. There we go. So, when we ended up making this, when I ended up making this opening sequence, I forgot what Garlops's middle one was going to end up being, and then when I ended up putting that in, I was like, oh no, have I ended up stuffing it with too many like tributes to Big the Cat? And it was like, no, because they are very, very different in tone. Poor Big, indeed, poor Big. Some people might not notice, but there is actually a crow that ends up cawing at the start of every single episode. I don't know why, but I just ended up leaving it on the timeline and just kept moving it around. Yeah, well, of course, mine is hollow. I'm not a Big the Cat fan. Like, Big the Cat was the worst bit. The opening of this episode was an absolute mess because I stuffed up the opening line, and for some odd reason I ended up holding, and then I ended up letting it go. And it was ridiculous, and it was so difficult to fix. When I ended up finding the the image of a CRT. I was quite delighted that it matched up to the creamy rubber trousers.
Generates gas, hence degaussing is sometimes required. Just a little world of gaming fact for you all.
Degauss is such a fun word to say, isn't it? I love saying the word degauss.
She is the Uzi-wearing, Twitch-streaming, sometimes trousers-wearing captain of the 18. It's Adrian's revenge.
Adrian flubbed her line on this. I say line.
And with her, they are a fan of her.
What are all the dancing gifs about? So I started putting some dancing gifs in there a while ago. And I just kept hiding them around. Like, when I was editing, I'd find them on the timeline from where I'd put them in previously. I was just like, it'd be a shame to remove it. Let's just put it somewhere else. So I end up hiding them in random places. There's loads of them hidden.
Wait, hit escape. Escape now! It's all going wrong! Wait, is it? It's escape room.
Oh, if you're thinking that that was a botch on my part, there wasn't actually any audio. I don't know what happened there to Escape Route's microphone, but I thought it was me. But no, it turns out there's just nothing on the timeline there for his audio. I was like, that's odd. There's the man himself. Garlips was actually the first person I actually went to with this whole idea. My daughter actually, oddly enough, asked me the other day why I picked Garlips and Adrian's Revenge as the team captains. And it was just like, well, they were the first ones that came to mind as to who would end up being perfect for this sort of thing. Really do support 16-bit because he's going to be doing that Unirally in real life charity, as well as playing Unirider as well. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. I'm gonna try and be as upbeat as I can tonight, but we're out of funeral.
We are.
Adrian's team, how was the Xbox Live chat before the match?
Uwu?
We've had the ego transformation tonight. And we're
Very good choices.
absolutely fabulous.
Damn right, sister. This is so out of character for me. Honestly.
I had to get this dress out of the closet just for this event.
It's great to actually have a VTuber on the show because I've wanted a VTuber on there for ages, even in season 1. So it's really awesome to finally get one. It's a shame that Syneth's one constantly ended up like glitching out a little bit, but I think overall it ended up working out quite well because Syneth is really got into things very quickly with this. Like, he was very, very quick on the uptake.
Are any of you guys selling your bathwater? I'll take 5.
When it gets to summer, I sell my sweat from when I stream.
It genuinely hurts sometimes to cut out sections, but getting it down to 40 minutes is ridiculous. Like, it is so tough to get this down to 40 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Syneth has been an absolute gem. Absolute gem.
Back heathens. The other side.
I'm actually really, really happy with how that ended up coming out in the edit. Obviously, I never plan anything that either of the teams do or their interactions with each other, but that actually worked out really well, and I'm really happy with how it worked in the edit.
Rubbed it a little too much.
Oh, I'm really not happy with this next edit. That causes physical cringe in me, and I'm really not happy with it. And I spent a good hour trying to figure out a way to make that look good, and it just did not.
I hate playing all of his levels. Sonic Adventure's worst parts were Big the Cat.
How dare you speak ill of the dead?
Fuck that arsehole. Anyway,
I sometimes worry that I swear a little bit too much on the show.
The cow, something else.
I try not to swear too much.
we booted into safe mode, uninstalled the graphics drivers, reinstalled them offline, and have been
Yeah.
able to install Game Sharks. Teams, I'm going to ask you a question, and you'll get a cheeky point if you get it.
I really need to update all of the graphics that are on here because they're still the circuit designs. See, circuit. We blew that set up. So I need to build some sort of like new way of displaying the graphics and stuff.
Does it have that many? Right, let's say first of all, can
point. Not seriously.
I played it once, maybe like 5 years ago.
I had friends that played it. Or maybe I have it, but you don't know that.
See, got right into the spirit.
Are a fucking expert at it. I'm glad I put my- I feel like I'm 20 minutes too long. However,
It's funny how some people are just like immediately snap on their first episode, and some people like their first taping ends up being like they're a little bit scared of what to say and everything like that, and it like the second taping they're just absolute fucking beasts. It's like it's fantastic. But it's nice to see the mixture of all the different people who end up coming on the show. Like, I really, really do appreciate all the people who end up coming on. Like, every single one of them is a little wonder.
and that is that it could literally be 128. Or 30 and 30.
Privately a little bit happy with how that turned out as well, actually.
It's false.
It's a real dick of a question,
Yeah,
I think.
but then he doesn't like the cats.
It's either a true or false.
Now, what some people don't realise is that we actually do end up asking each team, like, what sort of question they would like to end up having.
Being false is because
I'm trying to be vague about it, but they usually figure out, like, because I try to make the first question either something that's been recent or something that's interesting, like, especially if it's like there's a Fallout show that's just been released,
and I feel like
then I'll try and end up putting in a Fallout question.
for a competitive game at the very least.
What we're learning about this is that we don't know very much about the collections.
However, by the time that the episode comes out, it's bloody out of date, innit?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with false.
Well, hit it up, you know, you go false.
We are going false.
False you've ended up going with, and false is actually sadly the correct answer.
Whee!
It actually has 167
So-
champions at time of report.
Might be good for the next episode. Interesting, because I try not to look at the themes, like, I try to make sure that I don't even have the notifications turned on for the private sections of the Discord for those. So that I don't see if there's been any chatter in there, and then I get worried after the teams are announced whether or not there's chatter, so it's like, gotta resist. But yeah, there's a... I was gonna try and show it, but it's bloody pointless.
Fortnite boasts accounts of joking.
G-Chat and A-Chat have both got nothing on there.
Overwatch 2 boasts a cast of characters
I can see them.
in total 39.
Indeed. But if you're telling me to now put in a Fallout question, it means that you're probably all going to come out in Fallout outfits. But then again, you've been talking about nudity, so I am very confused. So,
So it's got the same lineup as
someone's in a vault suit and someone's dressed up as a raider and someone's dressed up as Benny.
game. Not to mention, they transferred all their characters from Overwatch 1, canceled that game.
Okay.
Service,
I will...
transferred
I haven't written the script yet for next week.
a big bunch of characters from Overwatch 1. And I remember
I've got to at some point, like, I'm thinking on the train rides that I've got to take this weekend. Yeah, I've got I've got Friday, I've got to travel, pick up my daughter, and then Sunday I've got to travel to drop her back off. So I'm going to have plenty of time to sit there on a train and just tap out the next script.
question the answer came across.
However, it's not that fun, because sometimes it's a case of having to end up not having another something to end up looking up information.
To be completely fair, I never played it, so there's that.
Especially with the Red Ring. Oh,
Announcing it, I remember the biggest, like,
making up titles for Red Ring can end up being a case of, oh yeah, make up this title for Red Ring. Now verify that it isn't an actual real game.
To be fair, I played Smash Brothers Melee and I can't tell you how many people are in that, and I played that.
Google and Google and Google.
If you give me a piece of paper and long enough, I could probably try.
It's, honestly, it's so tough, the Red Ring round. It's, the way that I've structured this show is, it's, like, the opening is supposed to be fair for both teams, so that both teams get a chance to answer a question. There's no steals, no anything like that. It's an introductory chatter that each team is going to end up having. Ideally, it's the team separated so that you can get an air of what the teams are like. And then the next round, round 2, which is the rotating one, which is the buzzer round, is supposed to end up being that one where you see the teams mix a bit more and they chat and they end up going like, oh, well, if they've done this, then we'll do this and all that sort of stuff. It's like, that's the way we try and structure it. And it's usually the round where the most amount of points end up being gained pre-red ring. So I've tried to construct the show in such a way that it's like the points are fairly distributed in such a way that it makes sense. It's weird.
We'll say true on this one.
Cheeky zoom in.
Just got on a point. Well done. It is indeed
I always feel like I over-egg the pudding a little bit with those.
now the route has been unplugged and re-
There's a dancing skeleton.
been able to download the next round. Franchised and fearless. Teams, I'm going to give 3 franchises and you will have to bid on how many you think you'll
I can't believe I stuffed it on the edit on this one.
franchise name in the title. If you bid and get that wrong,
This was a nightmare section to edit. Like, the first run of this was an absolute ball ache.
How many Why You Billy games are there?
teams, because as Rose of Doctor Who once said, because we want to, your buzzers.
I don't know the first thing about it.
Like I can still hear him.
There he is.
It's almost as if you've got an infinite stash of sound files with big, making silly noises that you can use.
I literally looked it up before the show and I found about
Yep. Get to crash zoom and end up zooming in on the minute details. It's very fun.
40 other things.
Yeah, and oh, I felt so sorry for him because it was like everyone's just sat there for a moment, and it was Garlick's like, this man's trying to bring it back to games, okay? Oh, that wound me up because I've been trying to mess around a little bit with more cut-ins.
For a change. Don't complain that you're
But I wound me up because I forgot to put in the later buzzer that I built onto that section. Same with Garlips's one. So, for all purposes, that was intentional.
Franchise is Resident Evil.
Oh,
Let me tell you.
that was an annoying little bit.
I don't know, but
I didn't catch that flicker until watching it live with everyone else. I was like, fuck. Knew I missed one.
Have you got Rays on 24?
First of all, yes, of course we have a race. Second, you missed the comedy timing then. Escape route of just doing this. Let me do it.
I don't know the first thing about it.
One.
I've been reading a lot that it's sometimes a good idea to try and make sure that you leave a little bit of the like you leave a little bit of like the actual natural way that people talk. So I try to end up making sure that I'm not cutting things down too much to the point where it feels like and people are just like rapidly talking, like sections of that and then sections of a little bit more of a natural way that people talk.
So what we'll do, Jace, is you and I, 16-bit, you want to join in as well? Have you got any?
You join in as what?
It's okay, me and Des will do it.
Saying game?
Yes, same game.
Oh yeah, I'll say the stuff.
Specifically Resident Evil titles, please.
Which I've played none. Alright,
Oh, I love that bit.
Resident Evil guided.
Yeah, I'm going
Oh, I
to
got
go with, Resident Evil Dead Aim.
So when I made this section, I just ended up having to have so many timelines of all of the box arts.
Resident Evil?
That confused me.
I'm going to go with Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition.
Okay, I'm going to...
I left out all of the bits where ERB is going mad over the Wii edition.
Yeah, well, Resident
You can see it on the box art there. It says Wii edition.
16-bit, you got another one? We need to speed this up.
Yes.
Resident Evil 0?
Yeah, Resident Evil 0?
I think where I left ones out was when Garlips was talking about doing was
Gun Survivor.
Resident Evil.
4, Resident Evil 4 Remake,
This bit here.
Gun Survivor 2, Resident Evil Code Veronica.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
That's the bit that's missing because you ended up saying Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 2 Remake. There were a couple of other Resident Evil 3 Remake. Like there were a few.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's... Would you
That's another one of my favourite transitions where where Escape 16-bit goes woo in the little porthole and then it immediately cuts to the next frame where it just follows on.
So, next
I really need to remember when I'm recording this that I need to finish what I'm saying and then do the thing. Finish what I'm saying, then do the thing. Do the thing and then come back and say it, because otherwise there's loads of bits where I'm just doing this and it doesn't make sense and it winds me up every time. I don't know if people caught there, but I ended up repeating some of the numbers.
I remember Arrowhead as soon as you said it.
Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby Canvas. I've also been released on Kirby.
I think I've missed some of the ones out hit from here as well. Possibly, I think. I need to actually count out how many Kirby titles that they ended up... I actually made the final episode.
Kirby Superstar, also known as Kirby's Fun Pack.
I love the way that he says fun pack.
Kirby and the Epic Yarn. Kirby 64 The Crystal Gods. Kirby Ultra Deluxe.
Getting this bit down
Kirby Tilt and
was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, Tilt and Tumble.
Color. I knew he could do it.
So you do indeed get the points.
Garlibus is on the show, Sausagetron.
You know I'm gonna
Oh,
say. I know I'm gonna say.
ERB almost spoilt this.
It's always Street Fighter.
Because straight away, he ended up saying Street Fighter.
Your bids please for Street Fighter.
And it threw me off completely. I was like,
Let's start with 10.
it's happened twice on this show. 16-bit ended up doing it, and Escape Routes have done it.
15.
15 is the highest bid.
I honestly thought that it was going to probably be 16-bit who would end up going mad on this round. Well, it turns out it was Adrian who ended up having the... Adrian and Sineth who ended up having the Street Fighter knowledge on their team.
Alpha, Alpha 2, and Alpha 3.
I felt so bad when he ended up saying 7. Like, oh, it's minor spoilers for what's about to happen.
Clear off Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 6, and Street Fighter 7.
No box art available.
Not 7.
That's the wrong answer! Oh my god.
You can visibly see the delight. Everyone has botched on this show. Me most of all. But everyone botches. It's how we end up coming back from our botches, which is the main thing.
Hey, we just needed one.
Imagine trying to get Kingdom Hearts titles, Frank. 382 over. Oh, no chance.
It's 358 over 2, thank you very much.
So after that tremendous
Yeah.
firepower, the scores being saved are Garlick's team.
It is always close, and I'm always delighted about that.
We'll take this very short moment to
Because originally I was thinking, oh, I'm making a mockery with these points. Like the points are stupid. I need to end up revising how I end up awarding points and stuff like that. But over all of this time, I'm like, actually, to be fair, I'm pretty happy with how the points end up being. Because we end up always having close, like, it's never a complete washout, except for, we'll come to that episode in the future. But it's always very close. Live stream of a show, we're watching the show together, 16-bit. Mate, you need to just end up not giving that loser attitude. You need to end up turning that salt into salt lick, mate. Himalayan salt lamp, okay? Glowing. Director's communism. I've actually had feedback that that's actually a decent way to do it. Like, people are not wound up about it. Oh, I had to re-record the break there as well because microphone cut out. Now shut up for this tribute. I will, however, say that Garlip sent this over ages before the episode's construction. It's very, very well done. The ending's a bit disturbing, though. And just made me hate Big even more.
And blue hole.
Yep, that bit.
In nature,
How long were you laughing to yourself when you made that bit?
happy-go-lucky. They didn't have flips.
What a guy. Little guy. Little guy. At the end of the day, if you laugh at your own thing that you've made, then you've made something good, okay? You've made something good, okay?
Rest in power and peace, big.
That's how you know it's good. That is. Welcome on in, by the way, 16-bit. I don't know if I've said welcome on in, but... And now for my one. Oh, of course, you're always welcomed. I don't know what I was thinking with this. The original advert is a lot shorter than that, by the way.
We're having a candlelight vigil. Everyone who cares about
It's not going to heaven.
yeah, I can see you all as Mr. Man.
No, why would I?
Next little bit will be the creepypasta episode. Beautiful.
Hide when it's actually going
I hope you know it's black.
on. Don't worry. It's on her at the service.
I'm sorry, what? I've got some excitement to look forward to. I'm well aware. I think that's what.
As you can probably tell, this bit was all improv. Like, no one has any idea what the hell anyone else is going to say.
Can I drink this one?
The links have been popped into Discord and the reacts have been spammed.
That was a lot longer, by the way, that drinking of the candle.
Video games, which two of them will be making noises with
There's another dancing skeleton.
If their teammate guesses the game, then they get a point. If they don't, then it's thrown over. Adrian's team.
It's such a shame that I missed out on doing the,
We would love to go.
like, even more ridiculous stuff to try to indicate what episode we're on.
Swimming pool escape route.
Do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do,
I always have to try and trim these down a little bit. Like, there is a little bit that gets cut off of these. The Final Fantasy one from a couple of episodes ago, my god, that went on for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. And in the final edit, it's so much shorter. It's so much shorter, thankfully.
He did.
I don't think he's going to get it. I'm going to have to throw it over.
It's very nice. I have no idea what it is. No, I'm just messing.
Oh, of course he knew what it was.
I'm not sure what the actual name of the track is, but I'm just gonna say it is shop music from Montreal.
Time.
Well, I'm sure it also appears in Majora's Mask, but you'd be going with the first appearance.
Yes, I am actually. It's actually the shop theme from the Ocarina of Time, and this is how it should sound. It also ended up having third accompaniment. Adrian's team, do you want to hit us with your best shot of the
It is. It is, honestly, it's all down to what games are included on those lists and whether or not I've played them. If I'm familiar with it, then I'll know what music comes up a lot or not so much. If I'm not so familiar, then it becomes a lot tougher. But I try to sometimes select things that end up having like a theme within the game or something you can pick up on to try and end up like narrowing it down. This is a good example of that. Like, it's because you both picked up that it was a Sonic game. Like, you could tell that it was a Sonic game because it ends up doing that whole dun 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 dun. Like, it's trying to end up building into sort of like a festive, fun sort of thing. And that seems to be like a lot of modern Sonic titles end up having that sort of like motif.
It's so close, you actually are. You actually are correct. It is in fact.
Can I just say, every show so far this season, they've guessed the hard track on our team.
That will not last.
Yeah, I think we had a whole bunch of good thoughts last time. Yeah, arguing about this. Pretty sure.
It's time for Garlic to end up getting salty as he ends up forming who he thought at and who
We have Jason as myself.
Bum 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 bum.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bum 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 bum.
Bum, boom, bum, 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 hole. Bum, 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 hole. I've only played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3, and that was down when I was visiting my brother in December. Really should pick that up at some point. I've heard things about it, and I've played it a little bit.
This is not an easy track.
See, the Mind Flayer theme, I remember from the start of the game. Because you start in the Mind Flayers, like, ship. But the Down by the River thing, I've not heard, like... So it's just one of those things, it's like, oh, dagnammit.
I want to tell you everything.
That sounds like about.
Close your eyes, picture it, and divine intervention will occur.
Sometimes, like, there are little hints that the teams like to give each other. And it's...
And I'm gonna go with our rule. What is it always? My gut is telling me it's Final Fantasy 7.
the little roll the dice hint, it was like, I'll allow it.
It's always Final Fantasy 7. Except when it's not, and I'm going to have to throw it over to Aiden. Have you got any idea?
The thing is, I swear I know it.
You don't want to know what ERB's list is like now. Every person who ends up going on the show provides like a list of like favorite games, and I make sure that it says on the top now, like, this will be for demo disc. So it's like, if these are your favorite titles, try and pick the ones that have got decent soundtracks that are memorable. So ERB sent over a huge list of games, so I am not running out of titles to go through for ERB stuff. There is one funny one though. One person's list on there ended up including, and he told me, like, as soon as I told him what the intentions of that list were, he immediately went dun, 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 dun. Kieran Potato ended up immediately turning around to me and saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put Rock Band 3 on that list. I was like, you know, I can't put that on demo disc. And he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, arsehole. I would love to release extended episodes of this, but releasing standard episodes of this is already massively time consuming. I love that you can end up seeing 16-bits little doggo in the corner there. Even when it's a Garlips close-up. Little doggo. I think that's really nice, you know. And again, both teams pick up that this is a Silent Hill game from the motif.
It's funny that this is the hard one, 'cause I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying with all our might to give you the clue in the
I
percussion.
can't really hear Garlics over 16-bit, so
Don't worry,
if I could
it
hear
doesn't matter.
we solo Garlics.
Solo Garlics.
a Silent Hill game. I just don't know which one.
I'm not saying anything.
Or is it 4? It could be very much 4. Those
Keep
are some
saying
games.
'em.
Objection. Too many hints here.
Oh yeah, it's too easy now. Yeah, I agree. I just need us to move on now.
It's a Silent Hill game.
There is... Oh, that is completely out of sequence, because there was a bit where they were ripping into Garlips a little bit, and he rips them off like that. But I was like, right, no, the runtime's too long, but I really do want to end up including Garlips whipping off his glasses. And I was like, I'll just fit it in. Oh, I wasn't going to end up moving that out of there.
I'm gonna go down
It's dribbling down the wall. It is not. It's in fact actually from Silent Hill. Shattered memories.
The last game that Akira worked on for the Silent Hill franchise.
I'm gonna let's do Silent Hill 1 through 4. Those are the only games I know.
I really enjoyed the smooth jazz of that so far.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack's legit. Even the layout.
When you were doing the beat, I was first thinking it was going to be too easy, and it was actually going to be the Skyrim theme, Dragonborn.
Playing Shattered Memories for a whopping half an hour.
Oh, that means you saw my favorite.
Is
Obvious-
the bit where it turns off?
Obviously, I cut out the bit where they ended up discussing, oh, that was on a previous episode, because I tried to end up making sure the episodes are standalone enough. If there's a reference to an old episode, I tried to end up including a little bit of that in there, like a little bit of the footage. I'm trying to do more of those mess around sort of things, but I don't want to overdo them because we're already like on stacked runtime.
It's currently on 4.
Oh, I thought it was that close. Hey, we can still get this. We got this.
I love the optimism of 16-bit.
You've got me, and you've got Jay, and
Yeah, we've got each other to hold in this trying time.
Yeah, you don't want to know how I actually come up with those Red Ring introductions sometimes. But yeah, the Red Ring section is probably the bit that I enjoy the bit of it. Oh, it'd be incredible to drink 16-bit optimism. His can do canned at last.
2, 1. Super meat shooter.
I'm really happy with the way that those sort of work now. The 3, 2, 1. I'm happy that I've ended up starting to put those in properly.
Defense. IO metal. True. That's indeed true. Oh, yes. Farland's story to Dance Obstruction.
I can completely understand why you would go with false on that, because it does sound fake.
Road to Passion. False. That's actually true. That's 3 hits.
Yeah, we speedrun it, guys. We speedrun it. You don't need 40 seconds.
New world record for now.
We need two.
Almost at 16 bits.
Are you all ready?
Oh, we're so ready. We are so ready for this.
I mean, I'm not sure if the three will be the... If you just say yes 3 times, you'll win. I don't
Not
even
necessarily. Not necessarily. Not falling for that one.
Well, Adrian's team, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Cat 1 Poison Festival. That's the default.
I really must say a massive thank you to Marty Newsnake for providing like the new Red Ring theme, the new opening theme as well for the show. Like they really do fit the show so well.
That's true.
Chester Cheetah too cool for school. False.
That's true.
That's actually false. It's a fool. Potions furious.
True.
That's actually true. Chew on power. False. That's actually true. Normal.
Oh, ERB's Fury after that bit.
Gary's Kitchen Super Battle Tank, War in the Gulf.
That sounds fake. Absolutely sounds fake. Absolutely true.
Video self,
That's true.
that's actually false, and that is.
Is it really?
Yep. Awesome. Right, I can now do the end of the show, and we can be free, can't we?
So that was me there adjusting this old broken phone that used to be what I'd use for the auto cue and stuff like that, which I then replaced with this phone. I like the way that this music ends up being like the exit sort of music, and I try to position it so that it ends up having the right time of fade out.
Alas, we could not muster enough to beat this amazing team.
Well, get up, Ben. At least we get a participation trophy.
I can end up doing a little pop-up now of participation.
Oh, this I like this edit as well.
But I'm pleased
I thought that worked so well. The little kappa head appearing between Garlip's thumbs up.
GG's, guys.
GG's.
GG's all around. And also like that, has anyone got any
Jesus Christ, there's 3 of me on the screen at once. This is ridiculous. Told you. Too many of me on the screen at once. So there's 2 me's and 2... There's 2 ERBs and 2 me's. This is ridiculous.
I mean,
Oh!
I'm in college, so I'm busy with a lot of things.
So I had to flip the 2.
Just, I guess, go find me on Blue Sky and follow me over there.
And as usual, you can find me, Adrian's Revenge, on Twitch and Instagram. Obviously, big shout out to
Struggler's Wheel, I really enjoyed filming that. That was a lot of fun.
I'm really, really proud of you guys. Big shout outs to Garlips, Jace, and 16-Bit. Please go check them out, and Mr. Matt Internet. Because we wouldn't be winners without you guys either. So, there we go.
And specifically Mr. Mains. But remember,
That is a very, very nice way of putting it. We couldn't be winning that.
So I had to rearrange the shout-outs at the end there so that Sinless one went second, because it flowed better if it went second.
So go check them out.
not just commiserations, console, Asians, 2 Team Garlics, and you can find Jason Vader over on Twitch and Jason Vader. You can find 16-bit Hyper Turbo as
I always wonder if I should include the QR codes on this bit, but we usually flip through them quite quickly on this bit.
always find Garlics over on Twitch at Garlics.
I also didn't realise there was a hard limit to how many pop-up cards that you can have. I was like, ah.
And I finished today on a wall. Every second that passes brings us closer to Artemis' One exists in more time. Bye for now.
Well, there we go.
you know some people.
My mate rang me actually last week to celebrate.
Oh, oddly enough, the mate who was going to call me was actually Kieran Potato.
You just ring yourself.
I was going to pretend that Kieran was calling me.
For any of you guys selling your bath water, I'll take 5.
When it gets to summer, I sell my sweat from when I stream.
Oh, that's wound me up that I've botched the credits there.
This gen gets very, very funny.
Yo, stream, huh?
Because obviously once I get to the credits section, I'm like, God, I need to finish this.
Got 5.5. Got 4.8.
5 jars, not 5 vials, just 5. Just 5.
There we go. So yeah, that's that was a little quick watch along of the most recent episode of Low Res. Hopefully that was okay. Hopefully that's ended up giving you some extra details about how the show's made. No problems. I'm glad that you ended up enjoying seeing how like some of it goes together and how it gets put together. It's very... It takes a lot of time to, like, do the editing process. I think the way that I do it, although it sounds long-winded, of having, like, a first initial edit and then a second edit where all the weird graphics and stuff goes on, some people would end up saying that's a bit ridiculous. We'll see. Twitch will probably end up muting it, because we know what Twitch is like sometimes. But, yeah, it's really awesome to end up having, like, the whole construction and putting it together in, like, the first edit and then a second edit that ends up having all of the cuts, like, all of the proper cuts end up going on in that second one, and then all the extra graphics and everything else goes on top of that. Seems a long time. Those low-res guys. I don't know what they're doing over there. But, yeah, that's been a lot of fun to sort of go over it and watch it with people. Other than, obviously, we end up doing the live chats whenever there's the premiere, and we're usually in there. But it's nice to actually be able to watch it on Twitch with everyone, and sort of go a little bit behind the curtain as to what happens on there. But yeah, I think that is going to be it for the evening. It is. It is it. So we're going to end up ending it for the time, because I've got to end up heading into the office, and that's going to be such fun. It's going to be such fun. Really looking forward to getting on a train, and then a tube, and then doing it all over again the other way around and getting squashed on everything, because everyone wants to rush and get home as quickly as possible because it makes sense to do so. Joys. Either way, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, Garlips and 16-Bit, for popping on into the chat. If you've been lurking, thank you so much for being here lurking. If you're watching on the VOD, massive thank you to you as well. If you're watching low res and you ended up going, oh, I'd love to see some more of that, then go onto YouTube and just end up having a little cheeky look for low res. It's all on there. Low res show. We've just hit 100 subscribers, so that's a massive milestone for us. I'm delighted that we've hit that milestone. We've got some key dates, oddly enough, coming up for low res. Our first taping and first release are going to be coming up soon. August, I believe, for most things. It's going to be pretty wild, really. Going to be interesting to see. I need to get full confirmation of the dates because I'm terrible at keeping those records. But it's going to be interesting to end up having the 1 year, like, special of what we're doing and everything like that. I need to get all the supplemental videos as well sorted as well, like all the best of season 1, and all of the, like, compilation videos and things like that. And I also need to sort out the clips as well. Because I've run out of shorts to release, so I need to make more shorts. So either way, it's always been a pleasure. So I will speak to you again all at some point in the very near future. We can record it on the anniversary of recording one, release it on the release date of recording one. That would actually be fantastic. However, I know what I'm like. And the recording and editing processes that we use now compared to what we used back then are very different. In fact, we recorded the first episode with the monitor where it is now. So the monitor is literally in front of where the camera is now, there. I was sat over in the middle of the room with with an error to store a laptop so that I could have the script. And then I ended up having to constantly run back over to this side of the room to do things with the computer. I didn't think it through. We now film basically here, but I have a green screen behind me. But anyways, I don't know why I went off on that tangent. I think I'm just becoming a tangerine. Anyways, have a great evening, and I will see you again at some point in the very near future. Bye for now. We are an well-oiled machine now. We are. We are. We are. We are. The